Hey everyone, welcome to LolKing's League Tips. My name is Chakras and each week we'll be giving you a tip that you can use in your games to have an edge over your opponent. Today, we're looking at roaming again, but this time as a support. If you're playing mid lane, it can be incredibly frustrating when the enemy support shows up in your lane out of nowhere. Roaming from bot lane can be devastating, so we're looking at how you should do it. First things first, what supports can roam? Technically, any support can, however, Nami, Janna, and Soraka are extremely weak roaming supports, so you should really avoid doing it with them as they're stronger in lane anyways. However, for other supports such as Alistar, Thresh, Morgana, and Bard, just to name a few, roaming should be encouraged as you can provide enough lockdown to help your teammate kill their opponent. Now then, when do you roam? You can roam after shoving in the wave, after killing your lane opponents or forcing them back, or after your AD carry died in a trade. These are the three main situations in which you should be looking to roam. The most common situation is after shoving a wave. Usually this comes when you have an advantageous matchup or manage to win a trade and zone the enemy bot lane out of contention. You push in the wave hard and you roam. Since the enemy team will have to clear the wave under turret, your AD carry will be safe for a few seconds. You can also look to roam after killing or forcing your opponents back to base. Just leave your AD carry farming up and move up to mid lane. In some specific situations, your AD carry might have died in a gank, but you're still very healthy. You won't be doing anything in lane alone, so might as well roam and try to impact the map elsewhere. Now that we have looked at the main situations where you can look to roam, it's important to mention a few key details. 1. Warding. You need to pay attention to your lane to see if the enemy team has warded any exits. You should also always ask your mid laner if he saw the opponent warding. If you're lucky, he had the courtesy of placing a pink ward on the bottom side, meaning you can know for sure there's no enemy vision. Number 2. Leaving your AD carry. Definitely one of the most important aspects, especially if you play in lower divisions. One of the worst feelings in the world is pulling off a successful roam and then seeing your AD carry suddenly die. To avoid these situations, you should warn him in advance that you're roaming so he realizes he'll be alone in lane. Other than that, you should always take into account the enemy lane, their summoners, and your AD carry's summoners. In this situation, Twitch is left alone, but he's facing Soraka and Ashe, who are a lane with low kill potential, especially early on. Twitch also has both his summoners up, so he's relatively safe even without his support. Most of this stuff comes with matchup knowledge and summoner information, so you'll get better at assessing the situation with practice. Lastly, knowing where the enemy jungler is can be important as well. If he is far from where you're currently at, and you're sure he can't intercept you roaming, everything becomes much easier. That's going to be all for this week's league tip. We'll be back next week for more. Remember that you can always leave a suggestion for next video in the comment section. We might choose it if it's good.